Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about One Piece chapter 1068. So, after a break week, this chapter solid 8 out of 10. A lot of things happened. It's moving at a very fast pace, faster than most people expected. And well, let's talk about it. Before you do, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. So, first thing I want to note for the chapter is the whole debate with the eternal energy source. Vegapunk has been talking about eternal flames, energy that exists in the world of One Piece, which most people have no idea about, and how it can be utilized, and it's just everywhere around us. And he's been talking about it ever since we met him, and so it just comes to the fact that my only problem with this is that it's never been talked about in the story. For a writer like Oda, for someone who writes his story with patience and time, and for a character especially like Vegapunk, who's been built up from for 600 chapters ago, and it's sort of I don't really understand the situation sort of deal, because he would plant seeds as to why inspiration for major characters in the stories of One Piece take place. So, he's interconnected a lot of things, a lot of goals and motivations, he's foreshadowed a lot of things, but this is one of the things that almost in my eye, at least, throughout my time reading One Piece, I've never actually caught on to. Maybe you guys have, but I really haven't. The most, sort of inaccurate comment, or more childish-like comment that I got from Dr. Vegapunk is the fact that he thinks that by solving the problem of of renewable energy, it will solve most of the conflicts in the world of One Piece, which I highly disagree with. Because the world of One Piece, in my opinion, what it looks like, and what it looks like to most people maybe, is that it's always a power struggle for who stays at the top. It's more about power than resources. Yeah, problems definitely exist as to why, problems such as limited resources are sort of factors as to why wars happen in our world as well as in the world of One Piece, but I don't think it's the ultimate solution, and Vegapunk's putting too much emphasis on it. I don't know where Oda's gonna go with this, but I'm just sad that it's never been foreshadowed. And I don't actually see the significance of finding an eternal source of fuel that basically helps the people all around the world. He has good intention. He wants to make energy available to everyone so that there is no inequality for the people who want to live the way they want to. I like it. It goes sort of hand in hand with Luffy's goal as well. What I don't like, the seeds have never been planted. Even if it hasn't caught my eye. I watched a few videos on the chapter. I haven't seen anyone talk about it as well. So, I don't know. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think? But aside from that, I really like it. And maybe we're going to see a little bit about Vegapunk's character flaw as we move on with the story, if he's going to be joining the Straw Hats in the rest of the adventure. So, leaving that aside, so the CP0 makes a move, and well, let's talk about Rob Lucci and Luffy for a second, because I just want to talk about the end of the chapter, because dude, I didn't expect CP0 would, make a move so fast, or Luffy and Lucci would be meeting so soon. CP0 would definitely make a move. They aren't the kind of people, or they aren't the kind of individuals that like to think that, hey, we're not welcomed, maybe we can talk things through and then somehow get our way in. No. They're gonna use as much power as they need to get the job done, no matter how risky it is, because that's their goal. So they abandoned their ship and they used S-Bear. S-Bear is the Seraphim of Kuma, to use his powers to get to Egghead Island, abandoning the ship because they knew that they wouldn't survive the mechanical giants on the sea. So, speaking of S-Bear, let's talk about it. One thing I did realize after so long is that the warlords, the original 7 warlords, were actually based on animals. So if you guys think about it, Jinbei is shark, Boa Hancock is snake, Mihawk is a hawk, and then, crocodile is crocodile, the flamingo is flamingo. So you see, I never actually really picked up on it, and this sort of solidifies something in our head, like headcanon, my headcanon at least, is that the Seraphims, there are 7 of them, and they're based on the original 7 warlords. It makes most sense because the original 7 warlords have been warlords for the longest amount of time in the story, and I feel like Vegapunk would have enough time to basically use information or gene or whatever he needs to do, experiments on them, to figure out this sort of stick. So, like, it sort of adds up, it sort of makes sense, and I'm in line with it. I actually like the fact that we're getting the original 7 warlords, rather than some warlords just entering and leaving, sort of like Weevil, Law, and Blackbeard, because I don't really consider them warlords. They took it because they had to, they had no other choice. It's like they used them for their own scheme. It was never like a warlord sort of drill, if you know what I mean. And maybe I'm wrong, but it's just me. So, as leaving that aside, it's apparently canon that the S-Bear, the Seraphim of Kuma, has the Pawpaw Fruit, has the ability of the Pawpaw Fruit. Now, as to how Vegapunk did it, I have no idea. Jinbei doesn't have a Devil Fruit, but he got the Swamp Fruit. Now, Kuma has the Pawpaw Fruit. We didn't see what Boa Hancock and Mihawk Seraphim was like. Like, did they have any Devil Fruits or whatever? So that's really interesting. That is very interesting, that how you could basically integrate Devil Fruits into, like, robots. Like, I know you can integrate Devil Fruits into, like, non-living things, but for like, robots and stuff, it's insane how it actually happens. And I would like to know more about this. And speaking of Seraphims, another person that popped up in the chapter that I didn't think would pop up is Sentimaru. And apparently Sentimaru is with Vegapunk. So it's not blatantly obvious, but Vegapunk thinks that Sentimaru would be capable of it would be in charge of the Seraphims. And they would help take down CP0. So the one person that I didn't think would line up with Luffy and the allies is Sentimaru, because he was always a fan of Kizaru, and Kizaru being the kind of man he is. And Sentimaru, I've never gotten the good guy vibes from him, so I don't know, it feels a little weird, but I like to see where this goes. Why did he change hearts, or where his motivations actually lie? I actually like it that the kind of character he is getting to play a major role in the story. Like, not a major role, but, you know, a role at the end of the saga or something. Role at the end of the story. It's sort of interesting. With that being said, we move on to Kamabaka Kingdom, where Kuma is... we saw last chapter that he was running away, he wanted to go somewhere, and now he did. Using his Pawpaw Fruit, he's now teleported himself to somewhere. So this, when you think about it, when you think about the Pawpaw Fruit, it sends you to a destination that takes you 2 days to go. Or was it only with the Straw Hats? Remind me of if I'm thinking wrong, but shouldn't it take Kuma quite a while from Kamabaka Kingdom to Agate Island to just like go there? Because it's very blatantly obvious, because every time, like the last time Kuma reacted like this was when CP0 ordered Seraphim to get ready, and we know they were preparing for an attack, and that's when Kuma started reacting. And now the Seraphim has been told to use his Devil Fruit, and now Kuma just left. Let's, use his fruit the same way Seraphim did. Like, I don't think it's definitely not interconnected, but maybe because of, the warlord being Kuma, I think it makes a lot of sense that, Vegapunk has done some modification to just link up the Seraphim with Kuma or whatever. I think that is very interesting to sort of understand. And yeah, I definitely do think that they're going to Agate Island. So for Luffy and Rob Lucci, I feel like it's a little too quick in my opinion. Because, like, I did say that I put up a title when I said Egghead Climax, and one person complained that, how do you know it's Climax? Because the way it is going. Oda never rushes things. Even in the most heated arcs, like Reverie, he took his time to build up what he had to build up, and then did what he actually had to do, and the payoff was later. But this is the one arc where I feel like everything's just going super fast. I don't know if it's because of Oda's editing that he did, the month-long break he got after like the Wano break. So like I don't really know how, but it's going faster than usual, and I feel like Egghead was supposed to be a build up to Elbaf, and it sort of makes a lot of sense as to why it's going so fast. I actually like it. So people might hate it, but I'm loving this because I think Egghead has served its purpose. As for Rob, Lucci, and Luffy, I feel like I didn't want them to fight because, again, Luffy has to win in a way where it doesn't make him look like he's not a Yonko. At the same time, Rob Lucci has to sort of fight a fight where he doesn't feel too weak for Luffy. Or else everything with Rob Lucci as an antagonist would just lose his sort of, what you might call, caliber in the storyline. As to, like, you know, pre-time skip, he's given Luffy the hardest fight he's ever fought. And for post-time skip, when Luffy is now getting such a power boost, and if, like, someone like an old antagonist just shows up, like, let's say Crocodile showed up when in Marineford and Luffy handled him easily, you don't want the same handling to be done with Lucci because he was special. I want to see how this goes and how, like, you know, Oda handles this, because it's going to be very interesting, because you cannot afford to, like, you know, mess up either of the characters because they're too good to be messed up, especially in this sort of situation. So that's it for the chapter review. Yeah, I'll have my extended thoughts in my next 2 videos, maybe. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Peace.